In this section I will show you the software that we will use in this project. In the previous section I explained the hardware that would be needed. There are a number of requirements for this project. The first thing is we need to install Raspbian Buster Lite on an SD card, and then we boot up the Raspberry Pi with this. This is the operating system that the Raspberry Pi runs on, and we would then SSH into the Raspberry Pi and enable us to install Docker and whatever other software we needed. Okay, Docker is a container management system. It allows us to create a number of microservices. Each one of these microservices sort of acts like a separate entity, and we can then control each one of these services. And so the first one of the service is Mosquito. This is an MQTT broker. MQTT is a publish subscribe system that allows many devices to exchange data between each other. I will explain more in detail when I get into the setup of the hardware. Node-RED is another service inside the Docker container. This is a flow-based logic system that allows you to connect different services together. In other words, MQTT can be connected across to the InfluxDB, and you can also send MQTT messages that were published. You can send it to a subscriber display. Another service that's in the container is InfluxDB. This is a time series database, and in our case we will use Node-RED to take the messages that come from the MQTT broker and save them into the Influx database. Then the next service is Grafana. Grafana allows us to take the data that is inside the InfluxDB and graphically show it in real time, as so we can generate charts and graphs of the temperature readings. ESP Home is what we're going to use to create the software for the D1 minis, the two D1 minis. So ESP Home is a Python-based project that allows you to create a sort of a script file which is written in YAML, and this script file will then we will run it through a compiler that would then create the final firmware, which will then flash into the D1 Mini through the USB interface. That's the end of the introduction to the hardware and software. In the next section we'll get into setting up hardware and actually getting the beginnings of our system going. See you in the next section.